Your doctor says your labs are normal, but your period is still missing. You're doing everything right. You're eating well, you're exercising, you're taking all the supplements, but really nothing is changing. Here's the truth that I think all women need to know. Normal labs do not mean optimal labs. And if your cycle is missing, your labs actually might be leaving out some of the most important clues. I'm Lindsay Lesson, registered dietitian who works with active women and helps them to recover and regulate their cycles so they can get pregnant naturally and avoid IVF. After working with nearly 400 active women and helping 91% of our clients to ovulate naturally in 90 days or less, I can tell you one thing. Your labs can look normal on paper when in reality your hormones might be nowhere where they need to be for you to have a regular ovulatory cycle. Here's what it really means if your labs are normal. It just means that you fall within the population average for what normal hormones look like. And this includes women that are on hormonal birth control, women who are in menopause, and women who don't have regular ovulatory cycles. What we see in a lot of our clients is they'll have their estradiol, their FSH, and their LH all within normal range, but they're still left wondering, why am I not ovulating or why do I not get a period? Also worth mentioning, your doctor likely only draws labs once, which means we're just looking at a snapshot of what's going on in your body at one point in time. This is why looking at labs in isolation really doesn't give us a full picture about why someone's cycle is missing or irregular. So if your labs are fine, but you're still not getting a period, what's going on? Here's what I see in my practice all the time. We work with women with something called functional hypothalamic amenorrhea. Essentially what it means is that fertility has been put on pause. The signaling between your brain and your ovaries has been disrupted because the body senses that this is not a good time to reproduce. Why does this happen? It's typically a combination of high stress, underfueling, overtraining, and potentially too low body fat to support hormone production. Here's where lab work falls short. It can't measure what's going on in your body day to day. Labs cannot pick up on high stress, low energy availability, or a dysregulated nervous system. You can't see skipped meals, under eating, overtraining, or a poor night's sleep on a blood test. Even if you're taking all the supplements in the world to try to fix your hormones, hear this. You can't out-supplement a body that's undernourished and overstressed. Let's talk about a few examples of hormones that might look normal on paper, but in reality are a sign that your body needs some TLC. The first one that I see often in probably about 75% of the women that I work with who have missing periods due to HA is low luteinizing hormone. On paper, if you had an LH value of 2, technically, that falls in the normal range. However, what that tells me as a fertility dietitian that has worked with 400 plus women and helped 230 and counting get pregnant naturally, that tells me that the signal between your brain and your ovaries is weak. It's barely chugging by, which tells me that follicular development and ovulation are probably not happening anytime soon. I'll give you another example. If we had an estradiol level of 30, again, technically on paper, it's within the normal range. And if you had a regular cycle and your estrogen was 30, probably not major cause for concern. However, if you haven't had a period in 3, 6, 9 months, maybe even years since you've had a period and you go in and your estradiol levels are 30 and they're really not budging, what we know from that information is that your body is not making enough estrogen to grow and develop a follicle for you to ever ovulate or have any sort of cycle. The context of when you take your labs and why you're taking them matters too. Let me give an example. Progesterone is our progestation hormone that's really only secreted in measurable amounts after ovulation occurs. So if you draw progesterone early in your cycle, or again, if you're somebody who hasn't had a period in 6 months to 6 years, and you draw progesterone and you're like, oh, my progesterone is low. Of course your progesterone is low. If you have no cycle, you're not ovulating. If you're not ovulating, you're not making progesterone. So instead of obsessing over lab work or running tons of labs thinking that this is gonna give you the magic thing that helps you to get your period back, I want you to focus on 3 main things. Eating enough, which can be subjective. This is where a registered dietitian can come in and help you to really understand what your energy needs are based on your occupation, your individual metabolism, your diet history. Perhaps there's been an eating disorder mixed in, perhaps minerals are really depleted, perhaps the body's just really low on energy availability. There's a lot that's gonna go into that, but eating enough and eating consistently are gonna be super important. The second thing that I want you to do is to start dialing back on the intensity and the duration of your exercise. Easier said than done, I know, trust me. But what we need to communicate to the body is that this is a safe place. Even though you probably don't feel that stressed, your body feels like you are running from a bear, and it is on high alert all the time. This is one reason why your body is really struggling with making hormones. Bringing the intensity and duration of your exercise down helps with period recovery in two ways. Number one, it lowers the overall caloric burn. That is going to communicate to the body, hey, I actually do have enough energy to make hormones because I'm not out running 10 miles per day. So it lowers the gap on energy availability, which is a crucial part of getting your period back. And it also helps to communicate to your body that this is a safe place to make hormones and potentially make a baby. Speaking of safety, the third thing that I want you to focus on is rest and nervous system regulation. We are so busy all the time. So much so that we might be skimping on sleep to go to a 5 a.m. workout class. We already talked about dialing back exercise. What a great opportunity to double down on that by sleeping in instead of waking up to go to the gym. Other ways that we can help with nervous system regulation is to slow everything down. Stop the multitasking. Stop typing an email as fast as possible like the house is going to burn down unless you send it in 90 seconds. And think about going through your day with intention and being grounded rather than rushing through everything that you're doing. And as you're doing these things, you can watch your body respond. Inside of my group program, we don't track labs every single week or every single month to assess progress. We're tracking things like appetite, basal body temperature, digestion, libido, how we're feeling overall about our relationships with food and our relationship with our body. Those are all signs of progress that your body is healing. So remember, if your labs look normal, but your period is missing or you're not ovulating regularly and you can't get where you want to be with your fertility goals, please remember that labs don't tell the full story. When we pair labs with an appropriate lifestyle assessment and a plan, that's where the real magic happens. If you're looking at your labs, feeling confused, and don't really know what the next step is to get your period back, I want you to grab my free lab guide where I break down what your labs mean, what their ranges should look like, and some important lifestyle questions to ask yourself to get to the root of why your period is missing and help you get on track to achieve your fertility goals.